Okay, what's going on, everyone? Just wanted to do another market report for the comic book market community, looking at several books that have caught some fire, have cooled down quite a bit. This isn't necessarily a buy report, but if you are looking for these particular books, these are the going rates for them. If you're looking to sell them, this is the going asking price for them. I think you should put down. But without further ado, let's get into it. But before I do that, I just want to thank all 626 of our new subscribers to the channel. I also want to thank everyone's support going forward. And we're still trying to get that 3,000 hour mark to get to monetize. And we're almost getting there. So I'll bring more of this content. Please like, subscribe, tell all your friends about the show. I'll keep doing these Monday market episodes this Tuesday today, so I'm a little bit late this week. I apologize, but without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so yeah, looking at a bunch of just stuff that I either had a while back or was looking to buy the past like couple of weeks or whatnot, or just is always on my watch list. Whether I'm just curious of like, oh man, did I sell that too quickly? Did I sell it too late? That type of thing. And I think this is a good barometer for people to see like, okay, I either need to get out of this book or I need to buy back into it. Whether or not you feel that the market is changing, whether it's a buying opportunity or shoot, this market is dying for this particular comic book or property, and or just like a that simple book that you've been looking for a long time. I lost down at a pretty good auction this past week on a Venom Chrome at 9.8 that went straight to auction. It sold for a little under 800, which my top bid was like 675 in this market, just because there's nothing really going for it right now. There's no real news. It's just more of like one of those grails that I've always wanted. I've never really wanted an ASM 300 original one. I've always liked the Chrome. It was always a book that I felt that I should have bought back in the day, but never did. And nonetheless, it's dropped a little bit, but just not to my price point. And everyone has their price point too. So yeah, let's get into it. Ooh, hold on a second here. Let me just reset this real quick. Oops, sorry guys. Okay. Wolverine 42, the Art Adams variant. This was a hot FLC book. I knew about this back in December. Shout out to Brains on this book. He shouted this out back, I think, early December. So kudos to you. It was 50 to 65 bucks out of the gate. And, it's a pretty easy kind of call, I would say, but just something like under the radar if you weren't looking for it. Art Adams is obviously like a very formidable artist, and a lot of people are just fans of all of his books. So it's a pretty formidable book to get if you are a Wolverine fan, or sorry, X-23, I would say, fan, and an Art Adams fan. But let's take a look at the market for listings. So someone's asking $350 for a 9.8 signed by Art Adams. It's pretty high. 1552 with some fresh bids on that guy. That's pretty good. 160 best offer, excuse me, best offer kind of asking. This didn't really pop like I thought it would, probably because I don't know. Maybe there's just better Art Adams books out there. There's too many, but let's see what the solds went for. So 102.50 for a 9.8. I think that if you're an Art Adams fan or an X-23 fan or both, that's a great steal for you. If you're the seller, that kind of sucks for like a flip. This probably was like one where you wanted to grade and flip right away. But regardless, I think, if this seller got, this book at like cost or 20 bucks, that's a good return back in these kind of these days. That's the only sold. Okay, 44.68 from Canada. That was last week. So pretty spot on there. 40 bucks. That's about where, I think this book was selling for, like I said, 60 bucks earlier. So if you flip this book, this is probably the way to go. However, if you wait to grade it, probably would have made the same amount of money just flipping the book regardless. But without, it's all good. Either way is fine. Hold on one second here. Okay, cool. All right, our next book. And I only have 10 books today, so I do apologize if you guys are looking for more books. But yeah. Static Shadows of Dakota #1, the 1 in 100. This was my cover of the year back last year. I think the one thing that derailed this book or just kind of didn't help with the sales is the fact that there was, this is just the virgin foil cover, and you could have just got the regular cover if you like the art. You didn't have to pay $500 and a 9.8 for it. I sold mine for like $300. I had a 9.6 for like I think 200. So I made pretty good out of these two books. I didn't pay a ton for either one. So, but I didn't really look at what the market was for this book. But let's take a look. Static Shadows of Dakota, #1. And there was a ton of variants for this book, but I only sold the 1 in 100. So no current sales, huh? Okay. Let me try. Okay, so there's a listing for 184. Shoot. So my cover of the year is not a hold and try and sell. So perhaps there's no current sales of this book. So for 1 in 100, if you're a Static fan, I mean that's a pretty good buy. I didn't look at the consensus or the census for this book either, so I'm not really sure what the census count for this is. But oh well. That's kind of a bummer, I think, in my opinion. I mean, again, if you're a Static fan, I mean, 150 for a foil, 1 in 100 of arguably his best cover of last year. The series was pretty cool. So as far as like the guts in the book, I thought the series was phenomenal. It was only 6 issues, which I hate the limited runs on Static, but it must have to do with the licensing or just I don't know. Overall, this was Miles before Miles, essentially. But I read this series over and over last year. It was my favorite book from last year. But nonetheless, you're probably getting a 1 in 100 for like 125 to $150, maybe 209.8. That's not bad. Again, that's 33% off of the high last year. So, or what I sold. So, yeah, let's get to the next book. This is a more recent book that came out a couple months ago. I may have put this on the previous report. I just can't remember. By Captain Marvel #5, the Dodderman variant. One of 3 Cap Marvel books that I think were here this year. If you're still trying to do that Captain Marvel ratio, flip or investment, I think that's over. I think Fedora's stated that as well. But I think of the 3, this is probably my favorite one, and it probably goes for the most money. I think the Captain Marvel 4 variant is a little bit more rare, but this is the coolest cover, and Dodderman does a really good job. I remember seeing a couple weeks ago, I think some people posted this on Facebook or on Instagram. A 9.8 went for like $550, and a raw sale, like basically ending like an hour or two prior, went for $500, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But let's see here. Captain Marvel #5 variant. Russell Donnerman. All right. So someone's asking 200 for this. So it's dropped down quite a bit since it came out. I don't see any other books. Okay, so 69 results. That's just the asking price for this book right now. These books have kind of gone down a little bit, so I'm not totally shocked. So 151. I mean, that's still really, and that was 3 weeks ago. So that's pretty healthy in my opinion. If you bought this book for ratio, you're doing pretty good. 163, that was a couple months ago. So those aren't very active. So maybe it's a mechanism of perhaps not a lot of people. This is going in collections. Perhaps people are waiting for this to come back from CGC, or they paid $150 for this or $500 out the gate and are just kicking themselves in the butt. But yeah, nonetheless, I'd probably suggest if you really want to be part of this collecting group of these Captain Marvel variants, maybe bid $100, nothing more. But the 4 seems to be settling in around 150, maybe 125. We'll see when there's more listings going to market, and perhaps people are waiting again for CGC to come through. But nonetheless, yeah, Captain Marvel #5 Donnerman variant. It is a nice book. All right, next book here. War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas #2, the first Swordmaster variant. I am just being too damn stubborn with holding this book. I'm kind of a point where like I don't really care if he ever comes to the big screen. I'm more concerned with him coming out with a book, to kind of follow through with the Iron Fist story. If you haven't read Sword Master, go out and read it. It's a really fun book. It really reminds me of like that kind of anime vibe and whatnot. And I'm actually kind of shocked they haven't really put like a good anime artist towards the series of Iron Fist. But let's get back to the book. So War of the Realms, New Ages of Atlas #2. 65 bucks is the last raw I saw. I keep this on kind of a watch list, quote unquote, just to see what the market's showing for this. This is a tough 9.82. So, with all the kind of, I don't know, just with grading and all that, I think this is a tough book to get in 9.8 for some fans. All right, so let's share this tab. Let me do War of the Realms. Wow, so 125.79. That's back in March. So War of the Realms, and I don't think that's very accurate. It's probably best to offer. Wow, just saying, 84 bucks for that book. I remember selling 2 of those for like 250 bucks. Holy cow, 9.6 for the #2 variant. I don't even want to talk about. Oh no, I paid about 175 for my 9.4, but it's 9.8 now. Not a lot of sales lately, but it's probably because I didn't put a good description. War of the Realms. New Agents of Atlas. All right, that's better. Okay, let's just go through these guys. Man, this is $6.59. I paid way too much for that book. So a week or so ago, $22.49, which I think is pretty fair. It's a good midpoint for this book. Wow, 89 bucks. Well, that's actually not too bad. Wow, 70 bucks for a 9.8 in this book. 51. That is a nice. So if you think about it, that's pretty much the market price of the raw book plus grading, and that was a month ago. Yeah, so 23.75 plus grading. I mean, that guy probably broke even, and he's probably happy about that. 1836 from the United Kingdom. Yeah, I don't really believe this sale here, but yeah, going into March, there's not a lot of sales here, but let's see what listings they have. Okay. Oops. So the guy's asking way too much for it. These guys are way out of market. This guy, you could probably offer him 55 bucks and see what he says. 30 bucks. I might bid on this. Let me take a closer look at that guy. What am I doing? I already have one. So yeah, the market's kind of confused, I think, right now about this book. All right. Well, it's totally ditched from its highs of last year, let alone 2022 and 2021. There's still hope that, possibly we'll get like Shang-Chi coming in Swordmaster 2. Oh, sorry. That Shang-Chi Swordmaster comes in Shang-Chi 2. There's possibilities of that. It might be too early, but, there is a hungry fan base of fans in Asia that want more characters that read comic books. It's almost super. We did a show a while back. Take a look at back on the channel, but we did kind of a Gen Z, Gen X, just overall kind of census about where the readers are coming from, and a lot of readership's coming from Southeast Asia, specifically Thailand, which I thought was crazy. China's reading a lot of comic books, which is even crazier because of government and all that. And yeah, I mean, it's very different. It's a very different kind of market. It's very odd that they're not really going into that Asian market. I think it's one of those things that Disney's not really paying attention to. But nonetheless, we're about 15 minutes into the show. I want to thank again everyone for your support and continued viewing of our content. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and without further ado, let's get into the next book. This was a book that I found out about as like one of the they have 1/100s now. when I got back into collecting back in 2016, 2017. Um, my buddy Yeezy, Aaron Yee, he has this book, I think, like probably got it for like 30 bucks. At the height last year, I saw one sell for 1800. I haven't really paid attention to this book. Excuse me. But I know that this is a type of book that goes into someone's collection and they don't take it out. And actually, I think it pops a little better if you don't get it signed. But I just think it's a beautiful book. It's one of those books that when you see it, you can like feel the rain. You can feel the coolness of the weather and how she has the hood. She's like putting the hood over her head. It just speaks a lot, when I see this book. That is depressing. Also depressing. So 1500 for a best offer. Yeah, this book doesn't really go on sale very often. That was back in February. It's one of those books that's like, okay, I'm gonna list it. I'm gonna ask for best offer, but I'm not giving it up for less than whatever. This is, there's a Mexico version, I believe. That's what that is. 9.6s, 1050. That's not actually unheard of. These guys are asking a little bit too high, I think, but I think again, it's like one of those. I'm not selling this book unless I get this much for it. $4,000, you're crazy. And I could see this book being like one of those, like being homaged, over time if Spider Gwen gets more popular. She's pretty popular right now, but like this was a pretty good like rendition, kind of close to. 100 bucks is pretty expensive to me. I'd maybe pay 50, even for the trade dress. But nonetheless, man, it's a pretty cool book. Those are the German versions. So if you're looking for a cheaper version of it with, kind of a cooler logo, I think that's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind getting that and trying to get a 9.8 out of that book. Oh, this is pretty tight. Spider Gwen, the Greg Horn variant. Very cool. Huh. And this is another. Wow, that is pretty nice. Ivan Talavera variant. Huh. Okay, cool. Obviously, I did not plan for this show. It's kind of live, but not. Oh, it's a pre-order. Okay, cool. But yeah, nonetheless, that is your take, or that is the market for this beautiful Spider Gwen Ghost Spider 1 in 100 variant. And happy hunting or happy selling if you have this book. Let's go on to the next one. Usagi Yojimbo, the Crow variant. This book was hot out of the gate, going for 400 plus raw. I think because it was an odd 1 in 40, and probably a lot of people just weren't paying attention to this book. I found out about this book from Fedora like the Saturday before FOC or Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. Posted in a couple of Discords, and yeah, I mean, I tried finding this book. No one had it. Fedora, I think, had a story about he bought it from some guy in England, and the guy was like, "Oh, I don't have it, blood," and yeah, he didn't end up getting the book. But man, if you got this book for super cheap, you made out like a bandit. That's a perfect flip. Let's see here, the Crow. Some stuff about this book in particular. It's drawn by Mitsuhiro Arita. He's a Pokemon artist. So I think you have a couple things going for you in this book. You have an artist from a different kind of genre. You have a beloved character, and the art's just amazing. I didn't know there's another. Wow, that's pretty cool. People are asking 300 to 400 for this book. Pre-sale's going for 700. That's crazy, but I'm not shocked. Let's see here. Okay. So 250. This is the going rate for this book so far. This is like 6 days ago. That's kind of a fun book too. I'm not mad at this book. That's pretty cool. And NECA, I mean, I just buy the figure. So yeah, this was the crazy like $465 sale. 374.95, 110. This guy made out pretty good if you flipped it, or if he still has it. And then they were selling these sets here, which probably did okay. If you buy it now for 500 bucks, that's crazy. So this Crow, I didn't even know about this book. I wonder what the other ones look like. I don't even know who this girl is or this character is, but that's a beautiful cover too. Um, wow, I'm just like shocked. I don't really want to spend 150 bucks on the book though, but yeah, nonetheless, that's your Usagi Yojimbo the Crow variant. Happy hunting. It's that's a $200 book plus. If you really really like Usagi Yojimbo or a Pokemon artist fan, then you're gonna have to pay pretty big penny. But I think that's a nice book. Kind of going down the old school route. Ironheart number 12. I was just curious about, the last issue of this book, and then this also being an Ironheart book. I thought the Ironheart series was actually really good. I read the whole series. Introduces her father as like an enemy in I think chapters or issues like 9, 10, 11, and then it just kind of dropped. I think the last issue there was like 20,000 orders or less. Check your key collector if you have the app. But last I checked this book, I haven't looked at this book in a long time. 25 bucks in the beginning of 2023. There's a lot of uncertainty, I think, with the character, the actress, what have you. I don't know. I thought she was so. I didn't think she did a horrible job. I felt like the character was pushed a little to like drama, and she they were trying to make her seem like Peter Parker, and either she just didn't. Oh, excuse me. Either she didn't hit the chord with the with the character, or I think she was just trying too hard. I just didn't really care for her. And the fact that they made her kind of a side character, I wish they would have introduced her maybe like at the end. I think that would have been a better way to present the character. But nonetheless, yeah, Ironheart 12, 25 bucks beginning 2023. Let's check out what the market's showing for it now. Okay. I mean, I don't even know if there's any solds. Okay, let's see this. $10. Wow. And that's best offer. Oh, now I'm just curious. Yeah. Seriously? Wow, cool. Everyone loves Blade. I had that. I kind of regret it's on the issue 1. What's it? That's what? We're not looking at that. We're looking at. Okay, I see the listing. So $10, 25. So low print run, and that's kind of like the hit for this, right? Low print run. Oh man, I remember when people were specking on that too. Damn. $30 for this book. $44.95. Good luck. So yeah, you could probably. I don't even know if you could find this in dollar bins. Honestly, this might have been scooped up, but you might be able to, or you may be able to find it like in a collection of 1 through 12. But yeah, no way you're paying $30 for this book. I'd maybe pay $6 tops. It's a cool cover though. But I don't really believe in iHeart anymore. I'm kind of over her. I just wasn't really impressed with the character of the show, and they kind of stopped writing the book. So that's kind of disappointing. But nonetheless, let's go on to the next one. So Exiles 3. Market says this is the first appearance of Captain Carter. I don't care. You can make the argument 180, 181, 299, 300. It's what the market says. It's what the market prefers. So if you want to go off the market, this is the first appearance of her first appearance, or the more wanted book. I know it's going to cause a lot of controversy, but like you can't argue the market. You can make the argument that she, is in a different book or whatever because you have 50 copies in your back bin. But man, the market doesn't give a shit. And let's see, Exiles 3, Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter. Okay, and we're not even looking at the variant, which goes for a ton, which I think is a pretty cool cover too. So people are asking a lot of money for this book. I would say 150 for this book. Let's see here. $22. That is a huge drop. I sold this for 100 raw back in the day. $24.99, $29.99, $25. $8.50. That's probably not very good condition. Let's see what $12.50 for a 75. So $71. This book has dropped quite a bit since whenever, and that was back March 24th. So that was 2 months ago. So no one's seeking this book out either. And just for fun, let's look at the Captain Carter. 20 bucks. So right there, I mean, this is the cover A too. So I'm just comparing to the Exiles 3. 20 bucks for the cover A. So right there, the market's saying, I don't really care about this Captain Carter book. Now this is the 1 in 25. So let's do the Exiles 3 1 in 25. See, there's, I mean, this is raw. That's 1 in 10. I bet. See, it's not even a 1 in 25. It's 1 in 10. 240. Beat you. 130. 130. I mean, this sells raw more than the Captain Carter number 3 or number 1, 1 in 25. And it's, I mean, this is the book. So anyway, that's my rant. All right, next book, Vengeance, number 1, the Deodato variant. It's first appearance in America Chavez. Pretty cool. The regardless of what people bought this book for, I mean the cover art is beautiful. I remember seeing this for like 800 bucks in a shop a while back, and I was like, that ain't too bad. I'm so glad I passed on it. 800 bucks for a 98, maybe. What's the market say? That's kind of where I'm at because of the rarity and the. It's actually a nice book. I just don't know. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Vengeance number 1, 9.8. Variant. Let's just do. Okay, no one's buying this book. Chavez. Right. Okay, so 874.21. That was the last sold. 227 for a 9.6. Wow. I remember I sold mine a lot more than that. Let's see the listings for this book. 9.2 is asking for 750. I'm sorry, man, you're not going to get that. 14.99. That's not a bad listing because you can probably get, like, someone's going to look at the market and say, like, okay, I'll best offer this guy for 14.99. $1,000, you're probably more likely to get a deal with this guy. That's not bad. But yeah, it's just a tough character to get into. I wouldn't invest in this book. Yeah. But teach his own. Buy what you think is going to go up, I guess. Don't buy what you like. Buy what you think is going to go up. Otherwise, just buy it raw. But yeah, Vengeance number 1, the Deodato variant. There you go. Oh, and that is that is the end of our show. I thought we had more. All right. Well, I hope you guys liked that market report. It's only a half hour. Didn't have a ton of stuff to go over today, and want to do a quick show for everyone. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for your support. This has been, I say this every episode I do, whether regardless if it's live or video, but it's been a really good experience just meeting the community. We don't always agree on everything, but it's always nice to have a formative discussion and look at actual data. That's the whole process of this show, not just pulling, stuff out of your butt. We do spec on stuff, so there it's kind of pulling some stuff out of our butt. But what do we look at? Maybe next time Fedora and I and Pickles will go over like what we think is pushing the market. Not so much like, oh, it's a cool cover. Well, why is it a cool cover? Like, why would you pick that? Why would you pick the Usagi Yojimbo, book? Oh, it's rare. Well, who cares? It's 1 in 40, whatever. Low print. Oh, it's actually drawn by Pokemon artist. Okay, I'm more interested in that. That makes more sense to me. Just because this market is just so tough. It's tough to try and flip books nowadays, or do you buy this book on the dip? Is it a dip? Is it the bottom? I don't know. Just look at the data. But thank you all for watching. Click that like button. I'll keep doing these videos every week, and you all have a great week. I'll see you guys maybe Thursday. I'll maybe do another show, and take care.